Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to Harping on Rugby. This is the front five, part of our weekly 80-plus column where we harp on a selection of eye-catching, egg-chasing quotes and links from around the rugby media landscape. If you've been following our YouTube channel, you'll notice we've changed the format of this video. Over the summer months, I did an entire 80-plus column this way, but the truth is it was way too much work doing all the graphics and such, but I do enjoy these videos, so I decided to stick with doing at least the front five this way for now, while all the other features, Wrap of a Wrap, Leinster Squad Update, Troll Patrol, competition updates, they can all be found in newsletter form over on our website at harpingonrugby.blog. So, as you can see, I've got 5 headings lined up here, and let's just crack on with this week's articles, starting with not a usual source we have for rugby articles here. It's the Sunday World. It's Nasa Comiskey. The headline reads, Becca Mehigan forever proud as husband Dave Carney wraps up rugby career. Now, I've got to be honest here. I missed the announcement last week that that his retirement was imminent. It wasn't until he actually posted on social media that I realized. Just a lot going on, I suppose. I guess I just missed it in the news, but it's not really surprising. He spent a year with the Chicago Hounds. He played on and off there, but they had actually not a bad season. They got to the playoffs there, but he's going to call it a day. And I think that the fact that this article focuses more, it's more about his wife. They've just had a baby and what they're going to do in the future. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's still just a kid. 35 years old for me is young anyway. But listen, he's had a great career. Rugby is a sport where there's a lot of family involvement. You find a lot of brothers at clubs, or you find someone will play whose father also played for the team. There's a lot of family involvement in teams. So, and considering the career of Rob Carney, how well Rob did, it's easy to, it's not like you'd forget about Dave, but you'd always, when he came up, it was always, oh, he's Rob's brother. But listen, Dave had a stellar career himself in his own right. I mean, 186 Leinster appearances, 55 tries in blue, plus 19 caps for Ireland, 5 tries. I mean, wearing green. I mean, there's a lot of people would kill for a career totals like that, and he's been part of Six Nations successes. He's been part of like a lot of Leinster's trophy winning campaigns. He's been an integral part. And when it comes to his actual game itself, the classic role of a winger, like if you start at maybe a junior, the minis level, say, right? The winger is like the furthest player out. You fling it to him, you try to get the ball to them, and then they skin the guy in the wing and score the tries. And that's the idea. But of course, obviously, as you get into the senior ranks, defenses are better, the space is more limited, so that doesn't happen almost at all anymore at senior level, because they're just the space and just isn't there. But what Dave Carney did, I think in particular, I mean, it's what they're all meant to do now, but what he was best at in particular is keeping the ball alive, because again, with the space not there, it would, by the time it would get to the winger, the defense would have compensated and there'd be less space for him to go in. But he was really good at receiving the ball, staying in play, and not just that, keeping the play on the front foot. He'd find an angle, find a line to cut inside and power forward, and he'd have his support with him and recycle the ball. I think that was, for me anyway, I thought that was one of his specialties. I remember a particular try he scored at the RDS. It was against Toulouse in the Champions Cup. It would have been probably the Heineken Cup then. Ross Byrne just put it on a sixpence, and it was a tight game. Ross Byrne just put it on a sixpence into the corner. I just happened to be sitting in the Anglesey stand, and it looked like Ross Byrne was kicking the ball to me, and it was Dave Carney catching it and putting it down right on the money in the corner. It was a brilliant, one of the best tries I think scored at the RDS in a really big match as well. But listen, it's a stellar career. We wish him and his family all the best in the future. There's a lot going ahead for him, and it's good news, and hopefully he'll get a send off. I'm not sure, is he based in Chicago at the moment? But hopefully he'll be over for a Leinster game, maybe at halftime, take him out in the pitch and get the full reaction from the crowd. It'd be great if it could be this weekend at Croke Park, but listen, he deserves a proper send-off from Irish fans, not just Leinster fans. So best wishes to Dave going forward. Okay, our second article. is from extra.ie. It's by Rory Keane. And the headline is Ireland head coach Beamons won't let heads drop despite Canada defeat at WXV1. This is obviously Ireland's second game in the top tier tournament in this WXV competition. It's the second year it's been running. It's kind of a simple competition. There's kind of 6 teams in each level. They're divided into 2 pools of 3, and you play everyone in the other pool. So you get 3 matches, and it's a league table from the 3 matches, and whoever tops that wins. Now, the way Ireland's draw worked out, we actually avoided England, who were just rolling over everybody. But we did play New Zealand, as you know. We played New Zealand, the world champions, in our first match, and we beat them. And that was an amazing result. Now, of course, the second weekend, we had to play the hosts, and Canada are very highly ranked as well. They're one of the top teams. Their women's team is one of the top in the world. And we had a first half yellow card, penalty try. They got a couple more tries during that sin bin period. But we did fight back. We got a try, Emer Constantine try in the second half. Wasn't enough. 21-8, still no disgrace there. And as you can see from articles like this and interviews with the coaching staff, they are disappointed. They do want to have things to work on, but they'll probably fancy themselves to do better against the USA. The USA aren't as highly ranked. I think Canada beat them. New Zealand beat them comfortably. So there will be a chance for Ireland to do well this weekend. And the quote I took from the article is, we're building belief in our game. Well, listen, from what I've seen, I saw against Australia, I saw against New Zealand, we saw it also against Canada. You're building belief. You've already built a lot of belief. It's the belief that comes through in the way they're playing. It's amazing. There's obviously amazing performances from the likes of Aoife Wafer and players like that throughout the team. But it's the teamwork. It's the belief in the systems and how they're playing. It just shines through. It's something you haven't seen from the women's team in a long time, and it was badly needed. It seems to, it comes from coaching. It comes from support from your union. It comes from all these things. All these factors have to go into it to achieve this kind of success, and hopefully they can build on it and build from here. And we've got the 6 Nations in the World Cup next year as well. So listen, best of luck to the girls this weekend against the USA. Okay, article number 3. It's from I call it the mothership website, irishrugby.ie. The headline reads, Easterby names emerging Ireland team for final tour clash against the Cheetahs. Now, we're recording this on Wednesday morning. So the match against the Cheetahs for the emerging Ireland team in South Africa might have already happened as you're watching this. But this article is from the naming of the team. And what I take from that most of all is that Sam Prendergast from Leinster is actually starting all 3 games. I mean, that's almost unheard of. I know that when the under-20s play their World Championship, they play a game every 5 days. But you would think for a tour like this, that's like 3 matches on a Wednesday, a Saturday, and a Wednesday, you wouldn't think any player would start all 3 matches. But this kind of makes a statement that says, Sam, they want Sam to be wearing green. They want Sam to be getting game time. And I hate to say it, but this is really good for Leinster as well, because, we started Kieran Frawley and Treviso last weekend, and we've seen what Sam can do. We know that Sam needs game time, and here he is getting it. He's getting 3 matches. Fingers crossed he's okay injury-wise, and that nothing happens to him out there. But he's getting games in the legs, most importantly. And in this one, he's teaming up with Cormac Foley as well. So that's an added bonus. So, if we've got Gibson Park and probably Frawley starting at Croke Park this weekend, you've got Sam and Cormac, excellent backup, also playing, getting game time around the same time. So it's really good for both Leinster and Ireland at this team. But of course, there's other aspects as well. You got James Culhan captaining the side. He's captain Leinster in the preseason as well. They obviously highly rate him, which is amazing when you consider, Caelan Doris is now the captain of Leinster. You've got Jack Conan, who's done really well at 8. You've got Max Deegan signed on another year. And now you've got Culhan, who's captaining emerging Ireland. You've got all these amazing number 8s, like, experience and prospects. It's a great conveyor belt. It's not obviously Leinster are no strangers for this, but particularly in the number 8 position, it's really good to see all this coming through and Culhan getting more game time. But there's a lot of other players involved from all the provinces. It's very important. Hugh Gavin and Cooney, the centers as well. There's all throughout the team. there's prospects to be watched. So if you can, it's on the Irish Rugby Plus website. It's a free registration. Go to that mothership website and sign up for it. If you don't, it's just a free subscription, and you can watch the game live, or you can watch it back if you miss it. It's well worth it. These games are crucial to finding out, where the players are at coming through the ranks, and it's good experience for Simon Easterby as well, who's going to be taking over the team next year to get time with these players and give them the coaching. It's a great experience for us. So best luck to them. And here's hoping Sam and Cormac in particular and James do well against the Cheetahs. This could be the toughest game. Of course, the Cheetahs, you wish there'd be some way of getting them into the URC somehow. If the numbers could work out, you could get them in. They're just on the verge. They've already played in the Pro 14. We'd love to get them in. They're really proud province in their own right, and they'll be looking to really make an impact in that game. So that should be well worth the watch. Okay, fourth article comes from BBC Scotland. BBC.com Scotland, and it's from Andy Burke, and the headline reads, Hampden switch for Edinburgh v Glasgow to attract new fans. Now, I picked this article because of the contrast between, obviously, this week where all the talk is about Croke Park. Leinster playing Munster at Croke Park. I think the last count, it was 75,000 tickets sold. I mean, if it just stays at that, but this is Wednesday, so there's a very chance they could be pushing to 80 when it comes to Saturday. I mean, that is an amazing achievement. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm being condescending towards Scotland, but I just have a feeling they're not going to sell out Hampden Park. But I do applaud this move because the URC as a competition has to take steps like that. We have to do all we can to attract new fans to the sport. And, there is an appetite out there. Even if someone has a football season ticket, they're still interested in watching rugby. They want to go out and catch a rugby game. And we've seen over the years, like Edinburgh for the first how many years of the Celtic League, they played their home matches at what was a cavernous Murrayfield. I mean, we talk about Leinster, just the bottom tier of the Aviva right now. Edinburgh were doing that. It was way worse for them for the early years in the Celtic League. But this is kind of different. There's kind of a rivalry kind of building now that they've formed the 1872 Cup competition every year. That's a big rivalry between their two teams. Now Glasgow are the reigning champions, so that's a big deal, and they want to capitalize on that, sort of seize on the momentum. So they're feeling, at least if we think we're going to oversell Scottstown Stadium, if they think that they're going to get if they can get more fans than that, even if it risks going into a much bigger stadium, at least there is literally no limit on the amount of tickets you can sell. So I applaud this. The quote I've chosen from the article, where they say, this is our opportunity to say, come and see the champions play and create an unbelievable atmosphere. Noble goal indeed. And I wish them all the best with it. Like I say, we know we're going to have an unbelievable atmosphere at Croke Park on Sunday or Saturday. So, we love to see this, Scottish rugby and even Welsh rugby. We want all these there's 5 nations in this league at the moment. We want the competition to be popular in all of them. We played in Benetton last week, and, we want all of the teams to get a buy-in from their fans and be going after the fans. And this is another way of doing it. So best of luck to them in that goal. And we'll see what happens when the match actually comes around. Okay, now, finally, we come to our 5th and final article. And this is more of a lighthearted thing here. We have a feature every so often, which I call Clickbait of the Week, where I pick out an article where I've seen the headline doesn't really match the article. Now, sometimes they're very cynical with it, and I'll point them out. This one I think is a good one. I'm going to give them this one. Okay, this comes from Rugby 365. It's written by Angus Opperman, and the headline reads, "Hooker opens up on switch to wing." Okay, so if you see that, you'll see, a hooker switched to wing. Okay, oh wow, okay, that's a big deal. And this is, I presume it's professional. So yeah, let's read that article. You click it, and when you get in there, you find out that the quote that I've chosen here, just to show you exactly what it is, so you don't click the link by mistake. Sharks utility back Ethan Hooker has shed light on how he found the transition from center to wing. So the headline is a little bit misleading, but you got to, it's a decent pun. I was watching the Sharks in the Curry Cup throughout the season just gone, and I saw this guy Ethan Hooker, and so a winger, and I was like, oh, his name's Hooker, and he's a winger. There's a bit of fun, bit of dad joke play to be done with that name, especially since he's not a forward. So this guy has done it. They've done it, and that if they get a few extra clicks for this one, I say fair play to you. A lot of people say clickbait is automatically a bad thing. I don't think so. If I've clicked a link, it hasn't cost me any money. And I think this is fair game. Hooker opens up on switch to wing. It's just a small thing, but listen, that's our clickbait of the week, and fair play to them. There's a lot worse out there. There's a website called ruck.co.uk. I think they're terrible at it. In fact, sometimes they make their articles over 3 or 4 pages, so you got to click 3 or 4 times. Not a favor of that at all. Wales Online are pretty bad at it as well. But I'm going to give this one a bit of kudos, and it's our clickbait of the week. Okay, so that's our 5th and final article, which means we complete this week's Front 5. Remember, we do a lot of other regular features on this 80 plus column. This is just one. This is our Front 5. Like I say, Leinster squad update, Troll Patrol. There's a lot going on there. Plus the latest standings and all the top rugby competitions. You just have to go to harpinonrugby.blog and you'll get the full article there. So please do check that out every weekend. And, this is clickbait, I suppose myself. I want you to click my site. I mean, that's what we want to do anyway. We provide content. We want people to see it. That's what we want. So hopefully you will click our website, harpinonrugby.blog, and check it out. Okay. We will be back later in the week, of course, with the preview of the big match in Croke Park. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel as well as other social media platforms. You'll find all those links at linktree/harpinonrugby. Until next time, stay safe, everyone. Slán.